But back to intention. I have worked so hard, morning to sunlight, to sunset, beyond, early in the morning, CDs, tapes, books, events, to get to a place, a painless place, if you will. I don't even like to put the word in the statement. A place of flow, that wherever you are in your life and the gifts that you're given, comfortable or uncomfortable, you find that proverbial seed of opportunity. But I don't like to use it in such a glossed over simple term, because then it doesn't really have the meaning, because it's just another quote. And forget another quote, because you got to live into that. You really do have to say, like when I flew all the way to that airport, I drove from Massachusetts with my daughter at 9 o'clock at night, got to the airport at 11. They put me on the plane. I got to the plane. I flew all the way here, and they sat me for a while and said, no, you can't come in. And quite frankly, it was the embassy in Washington, D.C. that messed up. I got on the plane and I flew all the way back. Full shield on this airline, Qatar. Mask too. But I had full seats across, just my luck. 4 seats. I wasn't in business class. They said it was full. I couldn't get a seat. I'm like, okay. So in the back was fine, because there's only like 60 people on an airplane that holds 300 plus. So that's an upside, right? So I flew all the way to Thailand, and then I flew all the way back, and of course no jet lag, because I ended up coming back in the same time zone. So I'm like, okay, I hopped in the plane, I flew back to Florida. I didn't bother my daughter for her to come down and pick me up. That's no good. I mean, she got her life, she got to live her life. So I got on a plane, used my miles, flew back to Florida, and like acted like nothing happened, right? I mean, I just went back, started swimming, ride my bike, sit down, continue writing, continue discovering, really looking back at 33 years of the jewelry business and saying, what's it all about? I did it to travel, only to travel and make money. But then the creativity fell in the way when I tried to sell gemstones. It didn't work. So I had to put gemstones in jewelry, which forced me to be creative. And through that creativity, I've created 43, at least 43. I don't know who's counting. It could be 103, it could be 33. But when I counted it, it really ended up being about 43 solid jewelry lines. But there's a lot of sub-niches in there. You do whatever you want with it. And that's where I ended up. And I'm like, well, I just kept on creating, because I didn't really know when to stop. It wasn't about, okay, Peter, here's 18 designs, stop here. You're making the money and then get on to the next one. Because I didn't look at it. I looked at it like a business, and we always made a lot of money in that business. And it was a successful business because we sold a lot, you know. If you make $1 on a piece of jewelry and you sell millions of pieces, well, you're making millions of dollars. It's pretty simple. So my money wasn't really on the focus. My money was on the lifestyle. When my family and I, we lived in England for a few years. I lived in Thailand and traveled all over Europe instead of going for a drive, a weekend drive. A weekend drive for us was 2 weeks, because the schools in England, they have a little teddy bear. When my daughter was 7 or 8 years old, they said, oh, we encourage you to travel and get out and see the world. Take Traveling Ted, and wherever you go, take a picture. Tell us the story. What happened? Who was there? Who did you see? What did you do? And that is what I've done just about all my life. And I can put in my scorecard over 100 countries, maybe 110 or 15. But, you know, it sounds good, 100. Oh, well, how cool is that, right? Well, it's pretty cool. because there's a lot of fascinating people in the world. They're all different, but they're all the same. Their culture has defined them as different, but they're all have heart and love at the core.